So in Sikha by the Rebbe on Vayikra talks about the Asham Talui. So halfway through his Sikha, he switches to this topic. So at the end of the Parshas Vayikra, we speak about the Korban Asham Talui that you need to bring for a various Safek Chet. So in the brackets here, for example, if you had before him fat that was kosher and fat that was not kosher, and he ate one of them, and after that he said to him that one of them was chilif. So chilif is the forbidden fats, and there's no real scientific difference between shuman and chilif. But this chilif is the forbidden part, and the shuman is the mutter part. So he had some chilif or shuman, he doesn't know. There were two in front of him. One of them was chilif, one of them was shuman. One was mutter, one was osir. He ate one of them, and we don't know which one he ate. But it's not clear yet if he ate the chilif or the shuman that was kosher. Then the din is on the suffix. Then we have to bring a asham taloi. That's the korban he brings. And then if it turns out to be that he was actually chayiv, so he has to bring a chatos. And if he's not chayiv, so then it's the end. So the Gemara, they have a maklokas. If you're chayiv, it's the kares or chatos. That when they sin in the asham taloi, chusla azara. So when you shech the asham taloi outside the azar, Rebbe Meir machayiv, the chachamim are potter. So Meir machayiv that because the asham taloi is it real kudshim, because you don't know if you sinned or not. So for Rebbe Meir machayiv, like real kudshim, chachamim say it's potter because you don't know if it's actually a proper korban or not. So the chachamim's reason is even that the korban asham taloi comes on the safek, then it's possible that you didn't have any avera at all on the isser, and therefore you're not chayiv to offer the shechitas chutz that you shechted a real korban outside. Because maybe it's not a real korban, because it's possible that he shechted outside of the Zara Behema that he's not a korban. And the Rambam goes like the Chachamim that you're potter. And the Maklokas is also adding that man who brings an Asham Taloi and before it shechted the korban, it's known to him for sure that he wasn't over on the Isser. So he brings an Asham Taloi, but before he shechts it, then he knows that it's not so, or he knows him for sure that he did the Isser. So then he has to bring the chatos, so he doesn't really need the asham taloi anymore. So Rebbe Meir says yetzavir be'eder. So basically this asham taloi has become cholin negamri. He goes back into the flock because the behemoth become cholin, and the chachamim say it has to basically it dies. It feels until it gets a mum, because there's the behemoth has got the din of a korban, but it's impossible to bring it. And you have to wait until the behema receives some type of mum, and then you can be poited, take it out of hektish. And the Rambam goes like the Chachamim, and the reason is that the man of the man is doiva alav nasol, so that he's worried about his sins, and since on the suffix he's already separated this for the suffix of his sin, and therefore he's already decided that he's going to makdish it. And we have to question, according to the Chachamim, that also if he knows to him after so that it's for sure that he didn't sin, so then the behema will remain hektish, because gomer belibo, the hektish. So we have this idea, we have this the das of man, that even on a safek, that you to bring the korban, then for sure you're happy to bring the korban. So then it has to be that where it stays a safek, for sure the behema is a korban. Then even if in truth he didn't sin, gomer belibo hektish. So therefore, why are the chachamim saying that if you shech the korban the chutz ein shchiris b'chutz? So to answer this quickly, would say that the explanation would be in the kedusha of the korban, there's two levels. So the dini adam by klape man. How does man relate to his korbans? In that it's enough of the idea for adam the gomer belibo. That's enough for man for it to be hektish. So therefore, that the korban has like the din of a korban klape man, even if he knows if he didn't sin. But by Shemayim, the Asham Taloi the korban is only klapi Shemayim. And Davka, if he actually sinned, only then will it be the proper korban. So therefore, for Shechitas Chutz, where it's the din of Shemayim. Whereas when we're talking about whether it goes back into the Eder, whether it goes back into the Cholon Negamri, then that's the tzad of man. So only by man it's a suffix because of the chait that idea we don't know if he did it or not. Therefore, the reason of libo of Adam Dove, and he's for sure going to be makdish the behema, it helps with hektish only for the din of man. That's whether it's cholon or not, but not for the di shemayim, and that is the shechitas b'chutz. It's possible that he didn't sin, So then for Shemayim, it's not a korban at all. So that explains the two sins. And even if you didn't sin at all, so then there's no kares, and the shechitas chus even b'mezid. So it's understood with this of 6 that even the korban, the chatos, comes in the iser for sure. Vadai ashim teloi al iser safek. So the chatos, if you do an iser for sure, so a shoygeg is something that gets kares if you do b'mezid. So shoygeg you bring chatos, and if you don't know if you've done it or not, then brings the ashim teloi. So that we find that the chumrah about the ashim teloi, then you have in the korban chatos. So the chatos only costs a danka, and the ashim is 2. The chatos is chayiv to be sheva lo pachos mi matbeya shenikra danka, so that the chatos is not to be worth less than this coin that is called a danka, which is like a sixth. Is the danka is the sixth. The ashim teloi is not less than 2 sela, and the 2 sela is 48 sixths. So therefore you have this 24 times more expensive to bring a ashim teloi than the chatos. And it's Rabbeinu Yonah says the ikar of the kapara, the korban, is on the teshuvah that you do with it, and therefore that when man knows that for sure that he sinned, and then he has the proper charata and the teshuvah be'emes. So therefore by a chatos you have real teshuvah, so therefore you don't need to bring such a big korban. But by the safek that you have by the ashim teloi, so therefore you need to awaken by him ways of doing charata and the teshuvah, because he doesn't really know if he's done the sin or not. Therefore he have to pay a lot more in order to awaken this teshuvah. But l'chayra, this isn't really enough, because for sure that you need to have some type of teshuvah, but there is an Indian and Maila of the korban itself. What about the korban? That has a segula kapara, and to remove the blemishes that were done through the sin in which you've done. Before these chilukim from the different types of sins, before these types of differentials in the korbanos, then you bring and you fix up the blemishes that were created by the sin. And for sure it has to be said that the price of the ashim teloi that is so high of the chatos is not just in order to awaken the teshuvah, the real teshuvah, but it's also because there is some type of pagam, some type of fixing up that you're doing with the ashim teloi that's much more than you do when you're fixing up the chatos. And this doesn't make so much sense, because how's to say that through the safek iser you don't even know if you've done it or not? The chatos, you for sure did it. How is that going to be a pagam that's much more than through an iser vadai that for sure you did the sin versus the safek? So 7, the karbanos makafir only on the sins that are done b'shoygeg. So if you do a sin b'mezid, so that the korban isn't going to help you, because of the aver b'shoygeg, it needs to have kapara. So even though you've only done it b'shoygeg, you still need kapara for it. Why? You didn't do b'mezid, it was b'shoygeg. Even though the etzem of the doing of the sin, it was shelo b'rotzen. You didn't want to do it. That's what mezid is. Mezid is I want to do this. Shoygeg is that you didn't want to do it. So classic shoygeg would be I didn't know it was Shabbos. I knew the act was osir and didn't know it was Shabbos, and you did it. Or you knew it was Shabbos, but you didn't know the act was osir. So there was no mezid in it, that you didn't really want to do the act. You didn't want to break Shabbos. So who says zod shelo midaito. So therefore there's a level of shlomi das. Every shoygeg is a level of shlomi das. But that itself, that the man is able to do an vera b'shoygeg, is proving that she'enhu kahegum, that there is some problem with the person. And the fact that he's doing it b'shoygeg is in a sense worse than doing it b'mezid. And the fact that he's in shoygeg, there's a moira there. There's something he's teaching about the person. There's an issue, because if he was fit in, and then he wouldn't be feeling he wouldn't fall even b'shoygeg, as it says that the tzaddik will not find any sin. So it's to say that the sin of the doing an avera b'shoygeg is that he lives his nefesh behemoth to be strong in the actions, and the behemoth HaKodemis, and they bring him that he's able to do an Aver B'Shoygeg. So that there's an action going on in the Nefesh Behema that is causing him to do this Aver B'Shoygeg. And these things are done by Adam in the Derech Memele. It's like automatically. It's not, he's so under the spell of the Nefesh Behema that it's done. The Nefesh Behema is taking control, Shalom Midas, and without kavana. So when he has even when he's not having kavana, the nefesh behema is revealing itself. So it's moirem al mahusos. Therefore, we're teaching on something that's much more who he is than when you are in Mazid. Mashahu shakua. Who is he? What is his subconsciousness? When you're talking about your Mazid, you're talking about your consciousness. You're doing the action. But when you're talking about shoygeg, so now you're entering the subconsciousness. And the subconsciousness, you're getting more into who is the real person, and what is he shakua? What is he salkanin? And what is he mitanek? What does he get pleasure from? Because you subconsciously follow your pleasures, and the deeds of a tzaddik, that the tanog is be'elokis, that his pleasure is in godliness, and therefore all the acts are toiv and kedusha. But if he was fallen in an aveira, it would be proven the davar that his real onog, his real pleasures in life, are for things that are not good. And the maisa aveira, it was only b'shoygig. Behold, the prat mesuyem gadol hapagim yotzer memasa b'mezid. So he's going to explain here why shoygig has a level that's much worse than mezid. Because when man does a pa'ula b'kavana u'medaisa, so this is all b'mezid, he's not moira so much on the connection, the deep connection of a man with the thing that he did. The action that he did was just something that he did. It's possible that all the connection with the action is only at the time of the doing it, and it's only the koyach of yisiyah shelo. It's only the ability to do it, and the level of the kavanah and the das. He is coming oimed as who oimed as. That's just how he was then. So he saw some ice cream and he wanted to eat it, so therefore he ate the ice cream. It doesn't make him an ice cream eating person. It's just that's something that he did at that point in time, even if it's good, even if it's bad. That's just what he did then. But when the pula is done by itself, therefore we're teaching on much more. So when you're doing it subconsciously, you're teaching on who you are a lot more. Shebet kosher ha'ani shelo. So who is the me? Who is the ani that is running the show? So that ani is the one that's lemala. That's acting above what you're thinking about. So you can go into and this is the Freudian idea that when people say things that society doesn't necessarily accept, it's that's really what he's thinking, but he's going into a area where he's trying to keep everyone around him pleased and try to be seen well in their eyes. So therefore he's acting in a way, it doesn't really say who he is. But when he does something lemalim and das, that's something that he's not in control anymore when he's doing this. So therefore he said something and he made a comment about a woman, or he made a lewd statement. So that teaches much more on who he is than when he's being polite. Because when he's being polite, he's doing that bedas, he's thinking about doing that, and he's trying to impress people. So therefore it doesn't really teach who he is. When he does something that goes beyond the das and is referring to we get a revelation of his deeper person. That's the Freudian slip, the deeper person. So here, the act b'shaygig is a revelation of the deeper person and the ainishalo, and there's yotzim kavana v'das. That's more than what his kavana and what he's thinking about. Thinking about Farish, and therefore that's what he's really drawn after. So it's to do the pa'ula elu achehu balidei ma'aseh b'poel. So since he's shakua in these things, and this is what he really wants, and these are the oineg that he wants, and these are the pleasures that he wants in life. So therefore, when he's not stopping himself from doing it, but mazid, so therefore he goes after b'shoygeg, and that's really the revelation of who he is. So we'll also understand what it says in the Kisei HaRizal, that somebody who is watching over a tiny bit of chametz in Pesach, then he's for sure that he won't sin the whole year. But this doesn't understand, because he's a Baal Bechir, he can make a choice, he can do whatever he wants, and therefore he's able to choose constantly with all the derech sheyechpotz, whatever he wants to do. Whatever he wants to say. So how can you possibly say that just because you are watching over a tiny bit of chametz that will say for 8 days, then therefore he will remove his bechira, that he won't be able to sin for the whole year, even though he can't just eat that food. This is the explanation, because with the Arizal, he's talking on this level of shoygeg. Because b'mezid it's possible that you will do the avera chas v'chalil. You have the bechira. The bechira is only affecting your mezid, that you can choose to do this. But the level of shoygeg, so that shoygeg is talking about the mahus of the person, and therefore the Arizal is saying that you won't do that sin b'shoygeg, because after that he is always the Baal bechira, and he is desiring constantly to do his rotzon. But with the ched of the shaygeg, he's done shalomidait. It goes beyond him, and therefore he won't fall. It says kol kach here in brackets. Ki al yedei zev, through this, that he was careful from the little bit of chometz, it was that then his essence is made in the specific way, the mahuz of kedusha. So therefore, by doing this one act, he has changed his mahuso. He's moira on his mahuso, and through this, then b'meila, he won't be nimshach to an avera on the level of shaygeg, even though he still has the choice to do it be b'mezid. So now 9, Altharis will also understand what the Gemara comes to explain in the Metzias, that you need to bring on a Rashim Taloi. And that will bring in the dogma of the Savek Chalav, Savek Shuman. So always when the Gemara speaks about and the Rashim Taloi, what's the case? It's always talking about eating fat. Which fat did you eat? And there's many different ways that of the Safek Avera. What's the reason that Gemara specifically talks about the Safek Chalav, Safek Shuman? Why is that the case? And the explanation is, as it says, that Ashim Taloi comes in the Safek Isser Shaygeg. So again, since we're talking about the shaygeg, we're talking about the mahus of the person, the deeper levels, that it awakens by him a safek if he did the avera b'shaygeg. And since that the actions of the isser in the shaygeg, it comes from the side of the pleasure sheyesh lo b'hem. So that since in your deeper level, in your essence, you're searching after those pleasures. Hooray, pirushu shel davar. The explanation of the matter is that the kavana and the deeds of every suffix iser shehu b'mashahu hitanak shelo, whatever his pleasures are, that's what he will follow in his shaygig when he's not specifically b'mezid trying to control his desires. His desires will come out in his actions. Because if the oineg is mutter, then it will bring him to a kosher pa'ula. And if the oineg is rachman and latzlan, it's a ta'unak of iser. So therefore we have the battle between the shuman, which is heter, and the chelev, which is aser. And there you draw after the things that are aser. And therefore we bring the Gemara, the explanation of the Ashmin Tolois, davka the safek chelev and the safek shuman, because chelev and shuman is the fats. That is coming from the pleasure. The pleasure leads to fats, the fat of the land. And through this we explain that the pagam, again, this is the lakin that is caused through the sin of the Isser Shaygeg is Chomor Yoiter, Beprat Musiyam in a Bakam Shalidei Isser B'mezid. So again, when you have a mezid, so then the guy will get kares, and how to do teshuva for kares, so therefore you do teshuva, that you're never going to do this kares act again, and that's basically it. But when you do a Shaygeg, all of a sudden you have to bring a korban. So here we've explained the difference in the shaygeg and the mezid, but now we have to explain the difference between the chatos and the ashim taloi. Because when a man knows that for sure that he did a sin on the isser shaygeg, even though this davar is marish kesher shelo im hara hayod lifnei maisa isser. So even though it's megala that you have this connection. So again, the case, for example, of a shaygeg would be a guy driving his car, and his friend says, "Hey, you're driving a car," and you're like, "Yeah, I know, isn't it great?" And he says, "But it's Shabbos today," and he's like, "What? It's Shabbos today? Oh no!" So he drove the car on Shabbos. But once he is revealed to him that he's driving the car on Shabbos, so therefore he now knows, and he has this revelation that he has this tanog, whether it's to break Shabbos or whether it is to do Isser things. That shaygeg he did, but it was revealed immediately to him that he was doing this isser. So his connection to the isser and his depths is megala, this is shalomi daito and his kavana. Nevertheless, once he has done the isser, it is clear to him that he fell. It is clear to him that he did the wrong thing. He has an isser in his hand, and he knows that it's not fitting to be in the mamar masav boy. He shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be driving his car, because now he knows it's Shabbos, and he shouldn't have done that. That's wherever he is, he knows he's in the wrong place. But the safek isser, you don't know if you've even sinned or not. And from his choice, from what he thinks he's done, that misrach believable, that he's done the right thing, that the klal law of Avera, that really I didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing that I did wrong. Then that is Mayra, b'midah musyemet al kesher amoke beyoter lara. So here we see that when you're sinning and you say I've done nothing wrong, and not I've done nothing wrong, I've even done the right thing. Because I say I ate the shuman, but maybe you ate the chelev. So therefore, when the Avera, that comes from Safek, you don't even know if you did it or not. You're saying what a tzaddik you are by doing the mitzvah, but really you're oimek in the Avera, and therefore you have a much deeper level of connection to Ra than if you do something b'shoigeg. And then when it comes out from him, you do a klal she'ena karoi. So even if your guy says to him, hey, one of those was chaylev, he's not doing teshuvah, he doesn't care, because he doesn't think he's done anything wrong. So the guy's standing there and saying, I'm such a tzaddik and you're such a rasha, and being in the grips of the Avera and screaming at everybody about how bad everyone is and how wonderful I am, because all the Averas that I'm doing at that time, while I'm doing that, I'm even just saying what a great person I am, and that is the kesher to Ra far more than someone b'shoigeg. So if he's for sure being over b'vadai, so then the mehuso is still good. It's still good. His essence is still good because he knows that he did the avera. And then the Avera is hidden, and it's definitely still connected to him, and therefore he's chash b'soifil shel davar she'avar al rotzon ha'elyon. So he knows about it, and he has again a level of teshuva there because he's chash, he's chayshish, and he's worried about that he's gone against it, even though it is b'shoigig. He's seen in the mirror, he's seen who he is, and he feels the ra that he did, and that is coming to his essence. Masha enkein, however, somebody who is over Avera b'safek, and he thinks, oh, what a wonderful guy I am, this Ra is hupach lechios mehuso. So this Ra becomes into his essence. The Ra, so by the shoigeg, the Ra is taken out of his mehuso because he knows he's done the wrong thing, and therefore that will bring him to a closer relationship, and therefore that Ra will be pushed away from him. But somebody who is sinning and he says, I'm doing great, so that Ra will become part of his essence more and more, and it's not meneged. It's something connected him. He doesn't see something that this is not something I should be doing, and he doesn't feel it at all, and therefore he's not chash, he doesn't care, and he doesn't know at all that he's done an avera, and therefore you have to bring in the suffix iser ashim taloi, because it's far more that the mechir that you have to bring, what do you say, 24 times more from the chatas abal isra vadai, because when the ashim taloi litaken pogam amok yoter, because when you have an ashim taloi, then the pogam is much worse. So he finishes off with bringing back to the questions he had at the beginning, and therefore, since that the ashim taloi is far worse than the chatos, and therefore we see the korban ashim taloi with the chomer shabo, but the korban chatos. So somebody who knows the Savik Yisr, even though in Emes he didn't do any Yisr, therefore the Chacham hold that even if afterwards, so again the Ashim Taloi is much worse. No, but Beru Shalochat, even though he for sure he never sinned, or that he or he sinned for sure. Mikomokom B'chol Hanogealo, whatever it's got to do with him. Lema Amadu Matzav Nasho Gamer Belibo Lahakdish V'Yira Ad Yitzovev. So therefore that the Klape man, therefore for sure this is going to be a korban, because that's the matzav of his nefesh, because we're talking about the matzav of man. But for the Dini Shemayim, so therefore it's got to do whether he did the Avera b'poil or not, and doing the Avera, which would be the chepek of the rotzen of Hashem, did he do it or not? And therefore the poskim hachamim Hashem Toloi Shakarvim b'chutz is potter, because even he had the kavanah to not sin the ma'aseh b'poil. As Sarei B'Noigel Dina Shemayim is not a korban, but the Onish Kari that covers v'chutz. So therefore, the bringing the korban outside and shechting it outside is not coming to this level of kares, because kol she'ein zuna kares ein shegas chatos, and therefore he's potter. But we come out and we see that really the worst sins that you can be doing is where you're standing and saying what a big tzaddik you are, and then while you're sinning at the same time. And this happens a lot with people interacting with each other, and people are doing things that they think is so wonderful, when really they're the essence of sinning, and that is moire ra, and that ra will be integrated into the person even more. And that is the dangers of sinning and thinking that you're doing God's work.